report. And remember, some parts of this is not advice, it's a look at the charts. Some parts of this is a look at the cryptos, which are advice under Bitcoin futures. And cryptos have unusually high risks and unusual risks. Recently, the crypto space has experienced extreme boredom, which is something that we hadn't seen for a good 8 months in the cryptos. It does exist. We have seen the regulators want to the cryptos, or they're talking about it, and realize that, hey, this could be used for nefarious criminal activities. And what's happened is that they've decided to regulate it in different pockets and that they'll have a little attack here and there. But Silk Road and the Mt. Gox hacking back many years ago in Bitcoin were symbols that there were the ability for criminal elements to get involved. And so now the regulators keep on making statements about regulation, but they actually don't seem to be doing it in most ways. So on the way that I look at it, what we see is a market that is simply confused about what the regulators are going to do, and they're shy. At the start of each year, world economic leaders and world leaders go to Switzerland to have a ski and to eat some food and to talk about what's going to happen for the rest of the world for the rest of the year. And maybe, just maybe, the cycle that we see in Bitcoin, that we identified that it should bottom around the 15th to the 18th of January, it went a little bit further on the low, generally is because Davos comes up and there's a fear of regulation before it. It tends to peak at the end of December or mid-December and then fall down. So this whole approach to the world is just one of a normal cycle. Now, we did expect the market to turn sideways and just go boring, and that's exactly what it's done. And there's been a few little runners, and I'll get on with the little runners for you right now. Let's look at one of the little runners, and one of the little runners was Stellar. Stellar has had a magnificent movement, which you can see here. It's gone this leg up, and the ones that I've been putting the occasional order out on and trading. And we can see we were looking for as high as 0.00062. Pulling back after having a nice burst. You would have seen the post that I made last night for the history report and the crypto report. And what we can see here is it's gone to new highs compared to the old top, but generally this is a fairly strong classic bull run by any stretch. So if you did make some money, you should be taking some part profits on this, probably up around about the 0.054 parts per Bitcoin. That for the benefit of the and so it's probably gone a little bit further, so it's got a bit of strength. So this is Stellar versus Bitcoin. Now, definitely this has had a good run. Going to shoot the lights out. Okay, so it's been one of the few ones that have run, and apologies, I'm having a little bit of issues with my Dragon, naturally speaking, which is normal. It's hotter, it's more like Singapore than Melbourne. Usually it's just dead dry at this time of year, so we have a strange world phenomenon going on for us. Okay, I can see why Dragon's not working. So while I'm killing it, the thing that we see with Bitcoin futures is series of Bitcoin futures actually closes today in terms of expires on the January contract on the CME. Now what that means is that government procedures, and it's so it doesn't actually deliver you any Bitcoin. What it does is it marks to market Bitcoin that you have bought or sold, and that you on that Bitcoin price. So I think it's BTC, and I have to get used to these codes. BTC is the CME, and this is the most. And as we can see, 26 contracts. Not going out of the ballpark. And let's see if I can get this working so you can get a picture. And back, and it's just hang around. This is on the weekly charts. It hasn't broken down. Australia Day. And notice that we've only seen in the February contract 926 contracts. That's the most liquid contract at the moment. Into the dailies. Now, on the Bitcoin futures, this is the February contract. Here, as I was saying yesterday, above that 12,250, 12,300 area, it starts to get some traction to the upside, and the correction may be over. At the moment, the pattern still shows confusion, and so we wouldn't be going out of our way to buy aggressively. But if you did sell up higher, up above, say, $16,000, you might want to buy back in for a nibble only. Look at the position of the January contract. It is actually rallying, not in a great way, but it's rallying on a bit of volume increasing, which means that whoever was shorting it up here, it back. So potentially on a break above 11,800, you'll see a quick run up to 12,770. Now this contract dies soon, today. If they wish to roll it out, they will sell into the next contract, which is February or March, and buy back January. Possibly this future period has had some effect, but given that only 555 contracts were traded yesterday, that's only 555 Bitcoin, which is probably, let's guesstimate, it's worth about $100 million. I haven't got my calculator. Abbe, you're the accountant. Do you have any of those numbers in your head? The position. Fortunately, Bitcoin futures do not have reported positions at this point. A bit sad. Now, another part of the Bitcoin story is that it does like to go sideways into March. On a few different instances, we can see that Bitcoin is now somewhat cheap. And so we should be looking for buying opportunities, but we don't want to be stuck in it, expecting it to go too high until after March. Interestingly enough, it's actually to be weaker into September. As we have mentioned previously, around about 8,000, and we can see also some support down around about 75.40 if the terrible slide is to continue. We see a triangle in this daily pattern break down below 10,800. BTC USD. Longer term theory that Bitcoin is in a big ABC correction, get as low as 47. Wow. And this is the cash market of Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Cash, the future, the currency. If you've got pick up a bargain down around the 8,000 area. BCH USD, Bitcoin. And this is even less loved than Bitcoin. It is on a little bit of support, but I really require it to get above $1,800 before I would go towards 2,200. Loss would be below $1,400. Give you a bit better news, new line. BTG USD, also quite unloved. Leave alone until it shows enough strength to get above $220. DSH USD. This has found some support. Volume is not nice for it at the moment. And the best we could expect is a rally somewhere to just below 9,700 if it rallies. Stop loss below $700 if you are long. OS USD. And you can see this quite clearly forming, and it's had a long tail. Usually we expect it to sit inside that triangle and then break higher. Notice that volume on the weeklies has still been positive, and it's one of the rare few cryptos that have been doing okay. I liked it down when it was around about cents to $1, and it's broken up now. Good strength. Expect much higher targets. At the moment, $19 would probably be medium-term target I could give you, and the stop loss should be below $11. And watch out for the washout, new line. ETH USD. Now, the Ethereum network is supposed to be clogged up, just like the Bitcoin network was clogged up. Last night or a few hours ago, I saw a block mined for the very low fees of 100 Satoshis per Bitcoin. This makes it way cheaper to run around making payments in Bitcoin. It is around about the 90 Satoshis and 70 Satoshis I used to remember. It was a bit free and easy. Obviously, the general public is not involved in not congesting the system anymore. Previously, these payments were in the nature of 400 Satoshis. at the extreme height of the bubble. Now, a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin needing to crash more. And in my opinion, it's already fallen a bit more than 50% on the downside. So the next move down is probably one you want to buy to get ready for a reasonable push up. But back on Ethereum, we see Ethereum is a little bit dazed and confused. It's been knocked around on the weekly charts on quite good volume. So the best we would expect is up to $1,300 to $1,375 on this rally if it can continue. For that would be a break above $1,110. And your stop loss, if you were buying it, would be below $880. At least we saw a little bit of health. So we could hope for $1,150 to $1,175 if it breaks up above $1,110 today or tomorrow. ETH BTC. ETH BTC. Strangely, it's Bitcoin that is not doing as well in the longer run charts versus Ethereum. And we can see Ethereum is kind of ready for a push to new highs against Bitcoin. And that would be around about 0.105 parts per Bitcoin. You'll notice a mindset change in me. I tend to think of other cryptos in terms of their price in Bitcoin rather than US dollars. IOTA USD has no friends, and I've not liked it for a while. Clear through really $3 initially, but more likely $3.50 to get out of its mud. LTC USD, Litecoin. This is still problematic unless it clears through $220. Points down on this. LTC BTC. Bad a position as Bitcoin. Clear through 0 parts per Bitcoin. Jail, and your stop loss would be below 0.015. Me, it was 0.017 parts per Bitcoin to break up. And then your target would be just under 0.019 parts per Bitcoin. Evidence of a very, very boring complex. So you need very much to pick the right crypto if you're going to be playing with this until the complex gets some interest and attracts some more eyeballs and wallets. D. Now this certainly is one of the more interesting ones. We can see that it's got a nice ABC pattern and could get up towards $160. To be trading and adding new money to the crypto space, this is one of the stronger ones. It's still not that exciting or inviting, but $160 is the target if you want to go long. Stop loss below $110. It's down to $130. POWR, Power Ledger. Now this hasn't been alive for long recent daily chart, but on the 24-hour chart, we can see that it has been doing nothing. It gets into a stronger position if it gets above 0.096 parts per Bitcoin. And that's 0.4, lots of zeros, 96 Bitcoin. It gets a bit ill on a close below 0.0000 parts per Bitcoin. Is below 0.000091 parts per Bitcoin. RUSD Monero. Interested in cryptos, then privacy is not that big a deal. Is it? Question mark. Let's zoom out to the monthly chart to give us a better perspective because we are in a boring phase. Overall, so far this month, Monero is actually a month and nothing is terrible on the monthly charts unless it breaks $140. We also see that volume is decreasing. So Monero is on the list longer term. So if you're looking to take a longer term position, you could try with a stop loss below $230, but you would look to buy dips down to $200 with a stop loss below $140. We all should remember that Bitcoin and cryptos came very far, very fast at the end of last year, from September onwards. And in normal markets, the turtle trader Richard Dennis, who taught my mentor Russell Sands, there was too much trend and it needs to go sideways and chop for quite some time. XRP, US. To Ripple, it came too far too fast. It fell down towards 0.8 a month, which I thought was a bit far, but I thought it would get down to about $1.20. And now it's time to go sideways and burn a little bit of time. The sad news is you need a stop loss below 0.8 if you are buying this. Notice that volume actually quite positive still. Weekly charts we can see so far this week, and there's another 3 days left of this week. It's not been in correction, a light volume rally as well, so more churning on with the job. Zcash. Another part of boredom showing off here, but it's not as bad as you would think because it's come back and it's had a few rests on the old tops. As we all remember that $400 was and it's come back to test it. So this is probably one, if you want to accumulate a little bit, to be below $320 if you are doing it. Might be something you want to pick up. Patient investor. VG, USD, Verge. I used to have questions about Verge, and I was questioned by some people in Facebook a couple of times about Verge, and I saw it was exciting to see that the man, John McAfee, I believe, was one of the ones who was pumping and Verge through 0.12 parts per least to get some strength back, and more likely above 0.17 parts per Bitcoin. Feels like a lot sucked into these or coins or tokens or whatever you like to call them, are stuck in them because they didn't know how to use stop losses, or didn't at least know how to exit when things got a bit ugly, did not continue to be fulfilled. USD or STR. One that I liked, as I mentioned at the start. At the moment, it's had a good run and volume is okay, but it really doesn't show that it's going to new heights. So if you got into that when I said it was breaking out, hopefully you took some profit on some, and have a stop loss now at 0.00049 parts per Bitcoin. USD. This is not out of the mud, but it's doing a little bit better than other ones in the complex. Getting out of the mud is above $45, and your stop loss would be below $37 if you are trying to get out. There anything else? There's TRX. TRX, whatever it is. It's still not bad. TRX. Flag shape. So if it breaks above 0.0000 parts per Bitcoin, buy it with a stop loss below 0.00006 parts per Bitcoin, and dream of 0.00009 parts per Bitcoin. And I hope I got enough zeros in there. Okay, that's it for the Hypto cryptocurrency report. Let's get on to trading Forex and commodities and world indices and the Dow, etc. There will be no ASX. I might open that up for a little, the ASX. I will open it up to questions where it is. And thank you for the Hypto cryptocurrency report, viewers.